Felix Schelbe, better known as PewDiePie, has been taking not only the internet but the world by storm. A professional video game player and commentator who is adored by over 35 million people around the world for his comedic timing and interesting persona. If you're gaining about 20,000 new subscribers a day, you're doing something right. If his YouTube channel was a country, it would be in the top 35 largest on Earth. So let's take a more interesting and detailed look into the life of Felix. Felix was born October 24th, 1989 in Gothenburg, Sweden. His immediate family consists of him, an older sister, and both of his parents. At a young age, Felix would come to appreciate video games, even though he didn't own a console as a child because his parents thought he would play too much. His parents would rent him an SNES when he was sick though, potentially planting the seeds for his future profession. During Felix's teenage years, he became much less involved with the people around him and less interested in schoolwork too, though he did learn to play the guitar and even won a tennis district championship at age 14. The game World of Warcraft would come to consume most of his time to a point where all he could think about was that game. He cut himself off from the real world and lost a lot of friendships and connections to the people around him. This compassion almost ruined him until he found out how to use it for good. Near the end of secondary school, he realized he had to make a change. He buckled down on his schoolwork and proved to be extremely talented at physics, placing the top in his class on an exam. Entering his university of choice, CHALMERS University of Technology, being an industrial economics major. Interestingly enough, both of Felix's parents are CEOs. They supported him while he went through college, though do note that college in Sweden is paid by the state. During this time, Felix started to get interested in the gaming side of YouTube, which was growing in popularity quite rapidly. He eventually came to realize that industrial economics was not what he wanted to study, and did not want to dedicate the rest of his life to something he didn't enjoy. This true passion was video games and YouTube. The first YouTube channel Felix ever made was Pewdie, which was based on his admiration for the Call of Duty series. Pewdie was made on December 19, 2006, roughly a month after the release of Call of Duty 3, a game that's multiplayer feature brought a lot of appeal to it and set the stage for YouTube's Call of Duty community. While in his university, he picked up working with Photoshop. He even entered competitions and won, using that money to invest in equipment to start his YouTube channel. But it wasn't until he forgot the password to the channel Pewdie that he would be forced to make a new channel, the channel PewDiePie, on April 29, 2010, where Felix started out as a Call of Duty commentator. His first 100 subs came from a Call of Duty sniper clan that promoted his YouTube channel. He had about a year invested into his channel before he dropped out of college to his parents' dismay, around May 2011, when he had an estimated 13,000 subscribers. His YouTube channel around this time was not profitable, so he picked up the first job that he could be hired for. He was hired to manage a hot dog hamburger kiosk not too far from his university, which he says was awkward. He worked there for a few weeks, going from a major that demanded straight A's to undertake, only to drop out and flip burgers. In late June the following month, he would start his last job before committing to YouTube, a harbor captain, even having a little outfit and a hat. He worked there for a little over a month until August 2011, where he would be fired for accidentally forgetting to register space for a massive boat that had plans to dock, making for a problematic situation. He had around 22,000 subscribers at the time. This would have been around 2011, and with the money he made from that job, he would travel to Italy without telling his family to meet Marzia for the first time, later admitting that it may have been a bad idea due to the fact that he had no true way of knowing if Marzia was even real. His channel was growing in size at this point, but only a few months after meeting Marzia for the first time, his channel would begin taking off in popularity. Felix has gone on to credit his growth to many factors. In his channel's infancy, he has gone on record saying he used to send messages to people to check out his channel during times of slow growth. But one thing he points out is that he was taking advantage of an untapped potential, playing horror video games like Amnesia: The Dark Descent, and just being himself, not pretending to be brave. He also took time to discuss his connection with his viewers and his consistency helping a lot too. YouTube's algorithm would come to complement his release schedule and video length as well. He was a commentator who never worked on being really insightful, but he was a normal guy with great comedic timing, with the desire to connect with his audience, playing both good games and really bad games that were funny, and he was one of the first people to pave way for both comedy and gaming to combine into what has become the most successful genre on YouTube. The introduction to other types of video games beyond horror helped him out a lot as well, such as the game Happy Wheels, which at first some of his audience didn't care for, but would go on to be his most successful miniseries. He credits not making multiple channels for different content, but putting all his content on one channel as being something that helped him out in the long run. By the second half of 2012, his channel would grow at an unbelievable speed, and in about 1 year's time, he would become the most subscribed YouTuber in history. As of early 2015, Felix earns about 20,000 new subscribers every day. This popularity has made him extremely successful, averaging over 10 million views per day, making an estimated $8 to $12 million a year. But with his success, he has used it to help numerous organizations and charities, going on to raise well over $1 million altogether, helping charities like World Wildlife Fund, St. Jude's Hospital, Charity Water, and Save the Children. Felix, PewDiePie, eventually found himself leading the way for gaming to dominate YouTube. He's found a way to use his intense passion for the things he loves to not only be a successful YouTuber, but the most successful YouTuber. Something he never imagined would happen. Something that has happened so fast he's still trying to come to terms with it, but something he's very grateful for. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a brief video bibliography over the life of Felix Chalmers. Please be sure to subscribe to Top Trending if you haven't already. And if you're interested in seeing PewDiePie's channel, then click the annotation on screen or link in the description.